So I don't know what I'm gonna do now. I came down to the store because I thought my food stamps were supposed to be loading, and there's nothing on there.
We're back with another reality check, and today's clips might just leave you speechless. People are still shocked that the free ride is ending, acting like accountability is cruelty and work requirements are some kind of punishment. But let's be real. Every taxpayer watching this knows exactly what's wrong with that mindset. The further we go, the crazier the clips get. So stick around till the end. And while you're watching, think about this. Is the system broken? Or are people just too comfortable abusing it? Anyway, without further ado, I'll leave you with the clips. Let's watch them.
Now, what I'm about to say is definitely going to ruffle some feathers, but let your feathers be ruffled. If the shoe fits, the shoe just goddamn fits. When it comes to government assistance, whether it's SNAP benefits, WIC, HUD, income-based apartments, Medicaid, all of that government assistance stuff, if you need it, that's what it's there for. It's there for you to get you to where you want to be. It's there for you. If you have a job, get a better job. Go to school. You don't have nobody to watch your kids. That's what it's for. It's for mothers and people and elderly people to get back on their feet. With that being said, once you receive those government services, that doesn't mean you just live on it for the rest of your days here on this earth. There are so many people who need those type of assistances that can't get it because the people who got it 20-something years ago, 5+ years ago, are still on it. And this is coming from a black woman. This is coming from a woman who had those type of government services. You're supposed to be, if you're not working, you're supposed to be in school so you can get a better job and get you and your children a better place to go. You're supposed to be receiving those SNAP benefits because you can't afford to put groceries in your house. So you should be doing things in your life to better your situation so that you will never need those things again, and it can go to somebody who's in the shoes that you were in and trying to get better. Income-based houses, receiving SNAP benefits, all of those, you should only be able to keep those benefits if you're working. Either if you're working, if you're in school, if you're disabled, or if you're elderly, or if your child is disabled, or if you're elderly. But I feel like in order to keep those benefits, you have to work or go to school.
Finally, someone said it without sugarcoating it. Government aid was meant to be a bridge, not a hammock. You're supposed to use it to stand up, not settle in. The problem isn't that help exists, it's that too many people treat it like home base. Meanwhile, the folks who actually need it, the single mom starting over, the dad who just got laid off, are stuck waiting behind people who turn temporary help into a permanent lifestyle. Nobody's saying don't take assistance. We're saying take it, use it, and move forward. Because if you've been on the same program for 10 or 20 years, it's no longer about need, it's about comfort. And that comfort is being paid for by people who clock in every day and never qualify for a dime. But anyway, in the next video, there's a woman who turns government assistance into a small, sweet business venture, and then defends it by saying, "What's the big deal? Let's not waste any time."
EBT fraud is real, and this is how I know.
I'm sure this will be good. Tell me, how do you know?
When I was growing up, we were on food stamps. When I was in high school, my mom had this brilliantly fraudulent idea.
So your mom's the fraudster. Okay, what'd she do that was so bad?
That we would, during the holidays, we would go to the store and we would get all the fixings for baked goods. And then we would make dozens and dozens and dozens of trays of baked goods, decorated sugar cookies, Russian tea cakes, Buckeyes, bark, like the whole 9 yards. And then we'd sell that for cash to just whoever was willing to buy it. And we still had plenty left over for our actual food. That is a perfect example of the kind of fraud we're talking about. This was not like some business owner investing their own money and then turning a profit. This was someone taking the benefits that are funded by taxpayers from the government, turning it into something else so that they could have cash and they could do whatever they wanted with it. Fraud.
So your mom bought ingredients to make baked goods and then sold the baked goods to buy Christmas gifts for you. And you're sitting here telling us that she is a fraudulent criminal somehow. You know that technically, yes, this is considered fraud. However, this is not the fraud I give a fuck about, do you know what the billionaires are doing? I personally could not care less about a mother using her food stamps a couple of times a year so that way she can afford to get her kids Christmas gifts because she's buying ingredients with food stamps. Okay, I don't really care if a mom is buying a little bit of extra ingredients so that way she can bring cookies to the school bake sale, so that way she could, I don't know, sell a few things so that way she can afford to buy the essentials like toiletries or get her kids Christmas gifts. That is not the fraud I care about. I don't care if a mom's buying the stuff to make her kid a birthday cake or buying soda every now and then as a treat for her kids. I don't care. This is the fraud that you are so worried about, that you are willing to cut people's lifeline to food. This is what I want my taxes to go to, actually. I want my taxes to go towards young single mothers that are trying to figure out a way to give their kids a decent childhood. This is what I want them to use that for. If they are just going out and buying flour, eggs, butter, and whatever, that's better than selling crack on the side of the road. Why are we talking about this as if it's a huge crime? What I'm truly trying to understand is how you can grow up on food stamps, see how hard it is. You can grow up living in poverty, and then immediately just start shitting on the people that were below you and trying to make it harder for people under you by cutting food stamps. I personally will never get mad at someone using food stamps for food, even if that food is meant to feed someone else.
And this right here is how the system gets twisted. It starts small, a few cookies for cash, a few extra holiday treats, and before you know it, fraud becomes normal. It's not about a mother baking cookies. It's about someone using taxpayer-funded food to start a side hustle while still collecting benefits meant for survival. That's not survival. That's gaming the system. And when you defend that kind of behavior, you insult the people who actually play by the rules. The ones working double shifts, paying taxes, and still making it work without cutting corners. But maybe I'm wrong. What do you think? Is this clever hustle or just another form of abuse? Drop your thoughts below. I'm curious to see where people stand. Anyway, in our next video, we'll watch the story of a woman with 6 children who has been in need of assistance for years, who even refused 15 hours of community service, and whose benefits were cut off. Let's continue.
As a follow-up to my earlier TikTok, my rant about the welfare system, quick rundown. 35-year-old mother of 6 by 4 different fathers gets $4,300 a month in food stamps. She is upset because the government has said you need to give us 15 hours of community service. She doesn't want to do that. She don't think it's fair. She's never worked a job. She's never had one. She's lived off government assistance all of her life. So someone turned her in. Not only did they tell her that she had to do 15 hours of community service, now they've taken all of her benefits away and frozen 7 disability claims. So 6 children and her, I'm assuming that she's filed for disability for all of them, 7. Then she had to come up with $2,100 to pay rent at her Section 8 housing. She couldn't do that, so they evicted her. And she was in her car, I guess living in her car or looking for a place to live. Is very upset because no one on TikTok, all those people that follow her, will not help her. Why is she surprised by that? Somewhere, someone did her a very big injustice by making her feel like she is entitled to everyone supporting her. She even says in one of her videos, "This is why I had 6 children." Her plan was to have 6 children so that the government would have to support her. She's spending way too much time on her back and not enough time on her feet working. And I don't blame you. You can't help but watch it. And I do understand that she's just doing this for attention. They found out that she was making money on TikTok. She also stated that she's got to pay $30,000 back in food stamps because of the money that she made on TikTok, which is only fair. Wait till she has to report it for taxes. But anyway, I'm done with that story. I'm not doing it anymore. I go down a rabbit hole. It gets my blood pressure up. There are people out there when all of us good, hard-working people are out here trying to make ends meet. And then there's people who purposely have more children so that the government will support them. I'm sorry, that's part of what's wrong. Who's suffering for that? Those children. If all that she says is true, the people that suffer the most for it are the children, because she is teaching them to do the same thing. They are without stability in their lives. So those are the losers in this situation. But go check it out if you want to. I think you can go to Welfare Queen and find her. She's easy to find. But I love you. Bye.
This is exactly what taxpayers are fed up with. A 35-year-old with 6 kids, 4 different fathers, collecting $4,300 a month, and still saying 15 hours of community service is too much? That's not hardship, that's entitlement. You're telling me the same people who get free housing, free food, and free medical care can't give back a few hours to the system that's feeding them? The nerve. Be honest. Do you think programs like this should demand more accountability? Or is 15 hours really too much to ask? I want to see where you all stand. But anyway, in the next video, we'll talk about how a mother who works 80 hours on her feet, rushing between school and work, is still being lynched for living off the state, yet we see the same people proudly sharing their Netflix subscriptions. Let's get to our video.
So the video I posted yesterday about my EBT resetting on the 6th has made some people super angry, of course, and I have a lot of people saying bold, crazy accusations in my comment section already. So I just wanted to explain some of my situation and why I'm on food stamps, although I absolutely don't need to do that. I just find it funny and somewhat diabolical how there's all these people in my comments telling me that I'm lazy and living off the government. So I thought I would let you guys all know I'm a full-time student with a full-time job. I spend 33.5 hours a week at school and 40 hours a week at work. So I'm on my feet close to 80 hours a week because I do hair at school. So I'm always standing. I also have people in my comments telling me that I lied on my applications and that they're going to report me for fraud to the government. I absolutely did not lie on any of my applications. Food stamps is strict. You have to send in everything. I'm a single mom to 2 little kids, and my son's dad passed away unexpectedly in 2021. Which is what originally left me a single mother. I get a lot of us are struggling right now, so if you're not approved for food stamps and you don't know where your next meal is going to come from, drop your cash app and we'll see who can help you out. But of course, that would require you admitting that you would take help when you get it.
Okay, so since I've gotten so much feedback on my video about 15 hours of community service, I'm going to break it down to you very simply why I'm so against it, okay? First of all, I already have to take care of my 7 kids, okay? That is my service, okay? That's me contributing to society. Why would I go to a place and have to do mandatory hours when they can control when I have to show up? They can control which days a week I have to do those hours. They can control whether or not I can use my phone during those hours. Those are 3 guidelines that I'm not willing to comply with. I don't care, and that should not put me at risk of losing my $2,700 in food stamps at all. So y'all are sitting here jumping down my case because I'm pretty much on strike for doing these 15 hours.
So let me get this straight. Raising your own kids now counts as community service? That's not a job. That's called being a parent. You chose to have 7 kids, but now you think taxpayers owe you because you don't feel like doing 15 hours of work for the thousands you already get in benefits. That's the problem right there. No accountability, just attitude. Meanwhile, the rest of us work 40 to 60 hours a week, pay every tax in the book, and still struggle to cover groceries. But anyway, in the next video, we have an even crazier woman. Let's move on to our video.
With the government being shut down, I'm not getting my food stamps. And, it's October 3rd today, and I've been sitting here stressing about how I'm going to feed my family because that's $800 that I would normally get to put towards groceries that I'm not getting. What am I supposed to do? And it's just infuriating because I know, Congress is getting their paychecks, the president's getting his paycheck, and it's their fault that the government is shut down right now because they don't know how to do their job. They've caused all this inflation. They've made it impossible to make a living. And then they go and they shut down and they just take these days off with pay. And, there's a bunch of government employees that aren't Congress that are having to work for free right now, like air traffic control. And I mean, how are they feeding their families? I'm normally in bed by 9 o'clock at night. And it's almost midnight here, and I'm still up stressing. They at least need to send me my money.
I just got off the phone with my DHS caseworker. Somebody reported me to the state of Michigan because I drive a 2024 BMW. Not only that, but I have a couple Louis purses. So now they are forcing me to sell my BMW since I own it. Sell all 3 of my Louis purses and my wallets. And listen to this. And if I want to keep my $4,000 in food stamps, $2,000 in cash assistance, and Section 8, I have to find a job and work minimum 20 hours a week. 20 freaking hours a week. Double digits. I am 35 years old. I have never even put a job application in. I don't even know, like, how to do it. I don't know the first thing. I don't know even what to do. But if I want to keep my government benefits, I have to work. So, I'm getting a lawyer, and I am going to be filing a lawsuit against Mr. because he is the reason all of this is happening. Be ready, Mr. President. Be ready.
You're driving a 2024 BMW, rocking Louis bags, collecting $4,000 a month in food stamps and another $2,000 in cash. And you're mad that someone finally noticed? You're not a victim of the system. You are the system abuse. The fact that you've made it to 35 without ever filling out a single job application should embarrass you, not inspire a lawsuit. You're suing Trump because you might have to work 20 hours a week? That's half a part-time job. Millions of Americans would kill for that deal. But here's the question. Is it really unfair to ask for a little effort in exchange for thousands of dollars a month? Or have we just gotten too used to calling accountability cruelty? I'll let you decide. But anyway, you know I saved the craziest video for last, so let's get straight to the video without further ado.
So I don't know what I'm gonna do now. I came down to the store because I thought my food stamps were supposed to be loading, and there's nothing on there. So I reached out to the office, and there's a recording that says, due to the government shutdown, all benefits are placed on hold and no money will be loading. So I had a cart full of stuff because I just assumed it was going to be on there like it always is. And I'm not 100% sure. So then I called over to the housing office about the rent check, and they told me the same thing. It says, due to government shutdown, all funding has been stopped. Rent payment, please reach out to your landlord as rent payments will not be funded for at least the month of October. Anyone else having this problem? Let me know in the comments, because I'm not really sure what to do now.
This right here shows exactly why people shouldn't build their entire life around government checks. The second the system hiccups, one shutdown, one delay, everything collapses. Rent, frozen, groceries, gone. And the first reaction isn't to adapt or work, it's to panic. That's what happens when you treat welfare like a permanent plan instead of a temporary bridge. The lesson here isn't sympathy, it's accountability. If your entire world stops because the government paused your benefits, then you were never in control to begin with. But here's what I want to know. Do you think the system keeps people dependent on purpose, or are people just too comfortable relying on it? Let me know what you think down below. If you made it this far, you're probably one of the people who actually gets it. Keep showing up, keep speaking truth, and if you agree that accountability beats dependency every time, you already know what to do. Click the next video on your screen. Trust me, it's one you don't want to miss.